The infamous Udayamperur Synod of AD 1599, with political, military, and financial aid, brought the Malankara Church under the jurisdiction of the Roman Catholic Church and Latin bishops. The Nasranis who resented this slavery rallied behind Archdeacon Pagalomattam Thoma and Father Anjalimuttal Ittithoman Katanar to reign their pride and honor with the historical Coonan Cross Oath of 1653 and declared their independence from the Pope of Rome. There are historians who regard this incident as the first Indian struggle against foreign dominance. The representative body of local parishes, known as the Malankara Parli Yogam, held at Edappalli in AD 1653 during the 3 days Lent, recognized Archdeacon Thoma as the administrator of the Malankara Church, and another Malankara Parli Yogam held at Alangada on June 1st of the same year decided to ordain him as Episcopa. In the absence of a bishop, 12 priests together ordained him as Mar Thoma Episcopa. The church that began efforts to arrange an Eastern bishop to regularize the consecration of Mar Thoma. Mar Thoma I, the Great, who had endeavored relentlessly to liberate the Malankara Church from Roman Catholic clutches, entered into rest on April 22, 1677. He was entombed at Angamali Church. In the next 1.5 centuries, the Malankara Church was led by the 9 Mar Thoma bishops who came in succession from the Pagalomattam family. In 1665, the West Syrian Patriarch of Jerusalem, Mar Gregorius Abdul Jalid, had come to Kerala and regularized the concentration of Mar Thoma I. This is cited as the beginning of the Malankara Nasrani's relation with Antioch. Mar Gregorius Abdul Jalid entered to rest on April 24, 1671, and was entombed at North Paravur Church. Mar Thoma II, who ascended to power after the demise of Mar Thoma I, ruled for 16 years and entered into eternal rest on April 13, 1686, and was entombed at Niranam. His successor, Mar Thoma III, passed away on April 19, 1688, and was entombed at the church in Kadambanadu. It was during this time that the Eastern bishop Mar Andreos came to Kerala. He entered into rest in 1692. The mortal remains of Mar Andreos is entombed in Kallada. He is known as Kallada Appupan. In 1685, Mafrian Bar Baselios Eldo and Mar Ivanius Hadiella Episcopa came to Kerala. 13 days after setting foot on the land of Kerala, Mar Baselios Eldo met his sad demise as entombed at Mar Thoman Cheriyaparli, Kodamangalam. Mar Ivanius Hadiella was a great scholar and poet. He restored the orthodoxy of the Nasranis. It was a result of his efforts that the Malankara Church accepted the Alexandrian theology. He entered into rest in Chingam 3rd, 1694, and was entombed at Mulanthurathi Church. Marthoma IV, a member of the Pagalomattam Arakil family, was consecrated by Mar Ivanios Hadiallah as the successor of Marthoma III. He entered into rest on March 24th, 1728, and was entombed at Kandanada Church. He was succeeded by Marthoma V, whom he himself had ordained. Marthoma V, a member of the Pagalomattam Pallipuram family, he entered into rest at Niranam on May 8, 1765, and was entombed there. Following the demise of Marthoma V, Marthoma VI, who was consecrated as Episcopa in 1761 by Marthoma V himself, came into power. Later, he was enthroned as Mar Dionysius Metropolitan by the Antiochian bishops Mar Gregorius Johannon and Mar Ivanius Johannan, who were in Malankara at the time. Though he was tormented severely by Matthew Taragan, a leading Roman Catholic merchant, to bring the Malankara Nasranis under the Roman Catholic Church, Marthoma VI managed to resist. It was during his rule that Dr. Claudius Buchanan visited Kerala, and this visit led to the beginning of a relation with the Protestants. It was also during this period that the Bible was translated into Malayalam. He who arranged 3,000 star pagodas to deposit permanently with the British East India Company. This deposit is known as Vattipanam. He entered into rest on April 8, 1808, and was entombed in Puttagava Church, which was built by him. Mar Dionysius had consecrated Father Matan Rabban, his nephew, as Marthoma VII Episcopa on May 5, 1796. He succeeded Mar Dionysius, and it was he who actually deposited the 3,000 star pagodas his uncle arranged. He entered into rest on 4th July 1816 and was entombed at Kolanjeri Church. Marthoma VIII succeeded Marthoma VII. At the beginning of his rule in 1808, the Malankara Palliyogam held that Kandanada took a series of decisions. These decisions are known as the Kandanada Padiyola. It was also decided there to set up a seminary for theological studies. He entered into rest on January 21, 1816, and was entombed at Puttangava Church. Marthoma VIII had consecrated his uncle, Father Aip Katanar, as Marthoma IX. But before he could take up the reins, he too entered into rest in 1817 and was entombed at Kadamattam. With his demise, the Pagalomattam family's lineage of episcopacy ended. In 1751, Mafri and Mar Baselius Shakrilla, accompanied by Mar Gregorius Yohannon Metropolitan and Mar Ivanius Yohannon Episcopa, came to Kerala. Their efforts to bring Malankara Nasranis under the jurisdiction of Antioch failed. Mar Baselius Shakrilla entered into eternal rest in 1764 and was entombed at Kandanadu Church. Mar Gregorius was disappointed in having to make a compromise with Mar Thoma VI in 1770. Hence, in 1772, he ordained Father Kattamangatu Kurian Katanar as Bishop Mar Kurilos. Mar Kurilos, who was denied entry into Travancore and Kochi, built a church in Thoryur in British Malabar and settled there. Kilingin Mar Philoxenos, who later became the Metropolitan of the Malankara, was Mar Kurilos' fourth successor. Mar Gregorios entered into rest on 27 Mithunam 1773 and was entombed at Mulandurathi Church. In accordance with the agreement of 1770, Mar Ivanius Yohannon became the chief advisor of Mar Dionysius. It was as a result of his endeavors that the Malankara Church partially accepted the Wesleyan liturgy. Mar Ivanios, who passed away on 7th Madam 1794, was entombed at Chenganur Church. When no further action regarding the setting up of the seminary were taken up, Kayamkulam Philippos Ramban and Pulikottal Ittub Ramban approached Colonel Munro, then the resident at Divan of Travancore, and complained against Mar Thoma VIII. With the help and support of Colonel Munro, Ittub Ramban began the construction of a seminary at Kottayam. On March 21, 1815, under certain circumstances, Ittub Ramban got himself ordained as Mar Dionysius II by Kidangin Mar Philoxenos of Thoryur. The same year came the royal decree proclaiming him as the Metropolitan of Malankara. With this, the old seminary at Kottayam became the headquarters of the Malankara Church. Pulikottal Mar Dionysius, who entered into rest on November 24, 1816, was entombed at Old Seminary. Kidangin Mar Philoxenos thereafter became the temporary Metropolitan of Malankara. On 19th October 1817, he consecrated Father Punyatra Kurian as Metropolitan by the name of Dionysius III. Mar Dionysius III, who was able to defend the church from the onslaught of Protestant ideas, entered into rest due to cholera at the age of 40 on 16th May 1825 and was entombed at Kottayam Cheriyapalli. Thereafter, Kidangin Mar Philoxenos became the acting Malankara Metropolitan. Chepada Pallipata Philippos Ramban, who was selected as the successor of Punyatra Mar Dionysius, was consecrated as Mar Dionysius IV by Kidangin Mar Philoxenos on 27th August 1825. Quite distressed and annoyed by the Protestant teachings of the Anglican missionaries, Mar Dionysius IV called for the Malankara Parlayogam in 1836 at Mavelikara Pudiyagavu Church. The Yogam decided to rebuff Protestant ideas, Anglican missionaries and their teachings. This came to be known as the Mavelikara Padiyola. Following this, the British authorities started to torment him, and in 1846, being unable to tolerate it anymore, he resigned his position and started to lead a life of rest at Chepada Church. He entered into eternal rest on 9th October 1855 and was entombed at Chepada Church. In the meantime, Deacon Matthews, nephew of Palakunathu Abraham Malpan, who was a supporter of the Protestant faith, had gone to Mardin and got himself consecrated as Mar Athanasios Metropolitan by Ignatius Elias II, Patriarch of Antioch. After the resignation of Mar Dionysius IV, Mar Athanasios was proclaimed by royal decree as the Metropolitan of Malankara in 1852. Though brilliant, he was out of favor with the majority in the church due to the Protestant inclination of some of his close allies. Mar Athanasios entered into eternal rest on 16 July 1877 and was entombed at Mariamman Church. Meanwhile, the church was in a search of a leader who was capable of defending the church against the onslaught of novel Protestant ideas. Kundamkulam Pulikottil Joseph Kathanar, thus founded by the church, was consecrated as Mar Dionysius V by Patriarch Mar Jacob II of Antioch on 30th April 1865. Mar Dionysius V, upon his return to Malankara, claimed the title Malankara Metropolitan. Though his initial efforts were futile, eventually he succeeded in the legal battle against the modernists and was able to reclaim the old seminary at Kottayam and all its assets. A versatile genius, Mar Dionysius V entered into rest on 11th July 1909 and was entombed at Kottayam Old Seminary.